Okay, let's talk classes. We talk statements. Let's go high and let's talk about classes. Everything used within a Java program must be part of a class. We can define a Java class using any name or identifier that you choose, but there are requirements for those identifiers. I'm going to really narrow this down because I didn't make it very large here. So we're just going to, let's see what I should do here. Requirements for identifiers. I want you to see this real well. Hopefully you can read it. They must begin with a letter of the English alphabet or a non-English letter such as alpha or pi or a kanji letter in Japanese. They can begin with an underscore or a $sign, but they cannot begin with a digit. So if you have like one pizza, that will not work as an identifier. All right, so they can only contain letters, digits, underscores, $signs. They cannot be a Java reserved keyword. There is a list of Java reserved keywords we will go into later. They cannot be true, false, or null. Those are also reserved keywords, but they cannot be that either. They are upper camel casing. So classes begin with an uppercase letter, and they are camel case. So they're like basically title case, if you will. This is like, in this case, undergrad student is capital U, capital G, capital S, and inventory item is capital I on both ends. And the access specifier, which is like private or public, defines how a class can be accessed. We'll get more into access specifiers later in future lectures. These are the reserved keywords. I told you we'd go into them. These are reserved keywords you cannot use when you make your class. You cannot use abstract. Well, you can read the slide as well as I can. And if you want to pause this and take a picture of it, that's fine. But just realize you cannot use these reserved keywords. Let me get out of the way so you can see everything. Okay, I think you're good. You cannot use these reserved keywords. Okay. Now, there are legal but unconventional and non-recommended class names in Java. For example, class name and is a description. This here, I'm not sure why I put this in the slide, but undergrad student doesn't work because, oh, I know what it is. I don't like class name because it doesn't define anything. We need to use definitions or names of classes that make sense. So you want to name your class something that the class indicates. The class names and variable names are the first step towards proper documentation. So please make classes that make sense. One of the languages that we use in my classes for game development is C# and Unity. Unity automatically puts something called new behavior when you create a class. If you don't rename it, everything's going to say new behavior. It doesn't make any sense. I want it to say like this is a game manager script. This is a ball bouncing script. I want those descriptions to be descriptive of what the class is trying to do. In this case, this undergrad student doesn't follow proper naming conventions. New words should be indicated with uppercase letters. This makes this difficult to read. Inventory item with the underscore in the middle. It's allowed, but that underscore is more of like a Python convention in the naming. For Java, we want to put no underscores in the name to indicate new words. Budget 2019. When I see all caps, I typically am looking at a final variable, something that's not going to change. Classes don't fall into that world. I would not want to see all caps for a class name. Finally, I need to see a capital letter as like a title case. So budget 2019 also doesn't look good because I need that first letter to be capitalized. So if you follow those naming conventions, your code's going to be cleaner. We're going to know what to expect, and it's going to be, of course, appealing to the eyes, but also easy for others to follow along. All right. Here are illegal names, right? In this case, inventory item, you can't put a space in a class name. Class, that's a reserved keyword. 2019 budget. Class names cannot begin with a digit. Phone number. The number is illegal in an identifier. So let's look at this class directly. Public is an access specifier. It means that anyone can access it inside or outside. They can see that class. Classes generally should be public, and for the scope of this course, most of our classes will be public. I don't know if we have anonymous interclasses, but either way, our classes will be public. The word class identifies this as a class. So this is not a method. This is nothing else but a class. First is the name of the class. And on the high level, this line is the class header. Public class first is the class header. Between the curly braces is everything that defines this class. Methods must fall into a class. And these are the general parts of a typical class. We're going to stop here.